Hey guys, I'm Tony Alden, and today we're going to do something super cool. We are going to modify the parsed tree of an org-mode buffer using the function org-element-map. So bear with me, maybe the video will be a bit long, but anyway, it's a super cool stuff that we do today. So here we are in an org-mode buffer. We have those headlines, so we have 5 headlines. They have properties that are set with property foo and some value associated. And what we want to do is to add another value, for instance this one with some value here that we are not, we almost don't care what is its value, but we're going to put something here. But instead of doing it in the buffer, we are going to parse this buffer with org element parse buffer and modify the data structure returned by the org parser directly. So before doing that, let's just talk a little bit at not why this is interesting, but the two way of what we can see our buffer right now. It's also a file, so this will help in a second. But here, if I go to text mode, we've lost all the power offered by org mode. So we can't no longer move around with the nd command or many other things that we have, but we still have the text element that the text command and the text command utilities in Linux command line that we can still use in text. And what's super cool is that when you go back to org mode, you no longer only have to see that buffer as just text, but you can think about it as data. So first, if this is text and I want to modify, just a free way to modify a value in the text that have nothing to do with org mode, but just to say that we don't have to choose one power, the text power or the data power. We can just, because we are in Emacs, have everything. So now maybe I want to change value. So I'm using iEdit mode. If you don't use it, maybe you want to give it a try. So let's say we want to change this to val. Okay, I can do that. Everything that changed, I quit iEdit mode and it's okay. Okay, I undo. One way. We are dealing with text. We have that. Another thing that I want to change value and put it in uppercase, and I can use query replace regular expression. So I want to match value, so I have it. And the mega cool thing is that we can replace by anything we want, but we also can apply some eLisp to the match and replace it with what the evaluation gives us. So we have the function upcase, and we want to upcase. I have it here. Okay, we want to upcase. Sorry, it's not. Yes, see, this is that. So backslash comma to say that evaluate the next expression that is upcase the. Sorry, so I we'll do it again. So value and upcase the match of the thing. So now we want, let's give it a try. So return, okay, it select, I can press space and it put everything upcase. So super cool, we're fine. Another way, and then we go to the motif of the video, but just to say that we have text, we can do a lot of stuff with the text, but sometimes just going to data is a big boost. So now I will use rib grape, but you can use anything. You can use simply grape, but I like the thing. So okay, so I will save and redo value. Okay, so here I've matched the thing, and if I do next, you see that the first match, the second match, and I have those things. Here you can, I don't remember the name of, but you can change the mode, because I have it bind to something, Hydra refactor body. So maybe, sorry, so just I do it and then I look for the name of the function. So now the buffer is not only in read mode, it's also in write mode, and I can do whatever I want with text to change those values. And now maybe I can do, so what, why I can't do that? Okay, so maybe I didn't do the command the right way, but you see right now that I can modify those things, and I will call it val. Maybe I want to put it in, I will let it this way, and I close, and now everything has been saved. So you can see now here we have only val. So just we go to note Hydra refactor and okay, so now I want to show you Hydra refactors. Okay, so it is here, and the function I was using is Hydra refactor. Okay, so here we have it. So just before here, so this is an Hydra. So and this is when I want to refactor some of the, I want to modify some text that on a buffer that is in read mode only, and I can pass it in write mode, change and do it. And as you can do it, for instance, you have dial mode where you can do it in occur mode, and here there is another one, W grep mode. This is the one that is used when the measure mode is this one. So we want to W grep change to W grep mode. So I hope you're still with me, and let's continue the tip. It was just that free way that we have to change that buffer. So we are back here. So free way to change that buffer using text tool. Now, let's get into the data tool in some way. So we are going to do that. Org element parse buffer. This is the amazing thing with org mod is to have this parser. So at any moment you can stop seeing this as text, but you have it as data. So maybe we can describe this function. So recursively parse the buffer and return a structure. And if we narrow, it will only parse a part of the buffer. So yes, we're going to do those two things and take a look at those data. So I copy it. Now I go back to that buffer and I evaluate the expression in the bottom. Let's do it. So now I run and I see a lot of stuff with 3 dots here. Everything have been sent to the buffer message. We are in the buffer messages, and you see, okay, you want to try something. You have a value return that is big enough to not. So some of the part are replaced with 3 dots. So what if we want to have all the data printed? So we can do it in a buffer using that function that is called pp eval expression for pretty print eval expression. So here we see evaluate expression and pretty prints its value, and it will also put the value in pp buffer. Okay, I hope I don't go too fast or too slow, but super excited with this video. So go back there. So up, we do pp eval expression, we eval the same, and here is our this is org buffer, but in data. So maybe we can put here side by side the thing. So here we have this. We can do something like that. Maybe I will make it a little. I reduce the size only to show you some of the things. So here we have one headline. So we have a list of elements, and each part of the org mode tree, each part of the org mode buffer is some property list with the name of the type of the element and a bunch of property associated and other stuff. So here we can see it lines, and if we use iEdit to move around, we see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have no more that correspond to the one that we have in the right of the buffer. You can see that the row value, this one which is headline 1, and we go headline 1.1, headline 2. So here we have our information. So other information we have, for instance, in this section. So we have the property drawer and the node property with the key here foo. Okay, so maybe I will go back to something a little bit bigger. So I was showing on this one we can do something like that. Okay. So now we are here, and we are looking at this section with the property drawer and the property, and this corresponds to everything here. Okay, so I think up to that point. So here we have the node property, but we also have them there. Okay, so in the first part here we have information related to each inline, and this one is for the first inline, and we are going to see the other one. So the value is val in inline 1. We have this other value val in inline 1.1, and we can go on and on, and we can go back there. So here is the data that we have, and what we're going to do is to do the same. We parse the thing, and we are going to change the whole some part of this tree. So the part that we are going to change is here. So here we have some property and value associated to that inline, and we have foo here, and we are going to add a bar with some value. Okay, so this is now I go back to this, and it corresponds to do something like that, but instead of doing it in the org buffer, we are going to do it directly on the tree. So just before going to do that, we are going to narrow here. So we narrow this, and we want to see when we parse. So the help buffer told us that it will pass only this restricted part of the buffer, and this is what we have. So we see if I want to go down, I have nothing more than this one. So at any moment you can do anything you want. We might do this also this. So we narrow there, and we do this, and we just narrow to this section, this paragraph, which has the value here contains 0 here. Okay, so we go back a full buffer. We widen the buffer. We go back to our note, and we've seen pp eval expression. So if you didn't know about this one, I think that you are going to use it directly. It's so cool. Org element part buffer, we've done it, and now what we want to do is to use those two function, org element map and org element put property. So let's talk about org element map. We're going to use it a simple case. It's not that the second one is complicated, but just the first case that doesn't modify the parsed tree, and then we're going to use org element put. So first, this function. Okay, so you see some information in the bottom, but let's go to the help buffer. So we are going really to do it with the not the optional information. So it takes data, type, and function. So the data we can see. So what it does, it maps a function on selected elements or object. So the data is the kind of tree that we've seen. Okay, so it's a tree, an element, part of the thing, or a string. And what we do is we say, okay, fine, on this tree, just take some of the things that have this type, and type are described there. So you have org element, all element, or object. So we have it there. So center block, Babel block, section. So you property drawer, we've seen it before. And see, I go back there and I go to org element all object. We have it here, so we have this other one. So what we want so we're going to apply it to the element, the path buffer. We want the id lines. Okay, so we are going to just select in that tree the id line, and now to the id line that are selected, we want to apply some functions. So we are using a lambda function here that takes one element. So each element is an id line, and let's just return element. Okay, so simple thing. We select in the path buffer all the headline, and we want here we take the line and we return the inline, and this function org element map returned the list of the element applied to this lambda function. So we take it, we go back to foo. Yes, this is the one. We do this, we copy in the bottom to make this expression apply to that buffer, the buffer foo.org being current, and this is what we get. So you can see at the top we no longer have org data because it's not the path tree. We have just a list of the id lines. Maybe I make it a little bit smaller, and if we do that, well, it will take too much of the thing. But if I go to the next, we have the next, and the next, and maybe one more. And if I do this again, I go back to the top. So maybe you see here, and that the first element, we have the row value that is set to inline 1. So maybe what we can do is to select only for each inline the row value. So let's go back there. We are here, and we are going to just change a little bit this. So maybe we go back here, and maybe we can just. It's a little bit big, but anyway. Okay, anyway, so org element property, so all go back there, so all the things that are here in the first in the folder of the first of this list headline with everything can be accessed with this org element property that in the org buffer, in the help buffer, we see it take a property and the element, and we extract the value from the property of the element. So the property that we want is we are going to test with row value, and now what we pass the element, which is inline. We copy, we go back here, and we do it again. So we see at the bottom I pass the new one where we want the row value, and we hope that we didn't do something wrong. And you see at the bottom, you see the list. So we have the list of inline 1, inline 1.1, 1.1, inline 2. So now we've been able to pass that buffer, select only the headlines, and take the row value here, which is this part of the buffer, and to put everything, all those things in the buffer. in a list. So we have it here in the pp eval output. We go back to not. I don't know if I remember well. In the let's just take a look at the comment in the source code of org element math. So here we are in the source code of the function, and all my sorry, so it was said that the function is okay here in the buffer in the file org element.l of org. So the two major function were this one. It's written here. So here we have the almost almighty org element math, although applying a function on element or object matching some type and accumulating the resulting value. And this is this word that is absolutely right. It's amazing what you can do, and Emacs Lisp is so fun. So go back to not here, and so to resume what we did so far. Go back to the foo buffer. Here we've seen some of the thing. We can consider that buffer and that file just as text. We also can use our text tool to modify some of the part or do some of the things that we want to do. But because it's also we're also using the org syntax in the with org mode, we are of the powers offered by org, and one of the big power is the parse. The parser that bring us into the side of manipulating data, which is sometimes or maybe always, I don't know, but it's offer another dimension of what we can do with those kind of information. And what we just did was to parse that buffer. Here we are, filter to all the headlines and recuperate of collect the value of the headlines. Okay, so we have one thing left is to use the function org element put property. So just here, and what does it do? So in element set property to value. So here we have, so we give it an element. So the element that we are going to give to that function are the same headline we've used before. And what we want is for each element is to give it the property, to add it a property and a value. So maybe we just do it and it will be. So now we remove org element property. We take this one, org element put property. We put it first, you can see at the bottom, element property value. So on the element, let's give it the property bar, and maybe we can do something like, first we are just going to give it the value bar, and maybe we are going we do something different just after. So let's try it. So not, we are here, foo, we apply that function, and let's see if we get it. So where are bar, and we have it. No, sorry. So what I did is to set the value bar on the tree, but what we returned is the list. So you see we've returned the list, but this is not what we want, or I want to show you. So let's do it again. So let tree, because I want to show you that we change the tree in place. So here we're going to use tree. Okay, so up, we are here. So in a let binding, we bind the tree to the parsed buffer. We apply to that tree to all the element headlines. We want to change their value by adding the property bar with the value bar. So we do it, and then we return the tree, and doing that we are going to have that tree printed in the pp eval buffer. So let's go back there, and right now maybe we are going to have the thing that I wanted to do with you today. So now, okay, so we have a tree. This is that tree, and now we can see that we have also the property bar that have been added here, you know, in those properties. So we still have the raw value here. We also have the foo the foo here. Okay, so I don't know if you see me. So we have the foo value, that property with its value val in like 1, and we now have the bar here, and we have added it to each of the headline that we've matched. So 5 headlines. So this is what I wanted to show you. As I like to go further, always further, you can stop the video if you want, but you can also stay with me for the two last things that maybe we can just use a random number here. Let's see, it's written something, and that way we are going to have some different value for a bar, and so to see that you don't have to put a fixed value, but you can really put whatever you want. So we try it, we have it, and now if we go to bar here, we see that we have other value, values that change. So let's see the second one, minus 5, minus 2, minus 1, 6, etc. So here it is, and if you want to look at the definition of that function, org element put property, we can go there. We are in the org element .l file, and here is the function. So if we have a string, what we do is that we change the properties of the value. We can jump. Let's jump to that function to see what it does. So we add text properties. So this is what you can see in the buffer when you have a string. We add properties to the string. We go back here, but if it's not a string, we set the char. So we set the cell of the coulter of the element. So if I go back to my to this, I go here, and I will modify the headlines. So you see where I'm here. So the coulter, what we are saying is that not the first, but the second part, we want to modify this. So go back here, coulter of element. we have to modify this element in place. This is what it does. So we look at set car, the help buffer. So we set the car of the cell out to be new car. So the coolder, and if you go back there, this is that playlist. And what we do to that playlist is that we have it here. So here we recuperate the playlist, and at that playlist here, NF the one element, we put playlist put, we put the property and the value. So now we can go back to not. Here we can say that we are done today with this. If you stayed with me up to the until the end, I hope really that I give you some interesting thing to think or to try with Emacs, org mode, and everything in Emacs Lisp 2. I'm done for today. See you tomorrow. Have a next time, and that's it.